Hey everybody, welcome back. We're on Unit 3, National Income and Price Determination. In this video, we're going to be talking about fiscal policy. Okay, this is 3.8 on the curriculum guide or course description of the AP. Really, here's what I want to say. Fiscal policy is straightforward, okay? Don't make it very difficult. I'm going to go through it. The big thing is we want to know what it is, okay? What are the main levers of fiscal policy? And then what are some of the drawbacks of fiscal policy? We're going to focus on two in this video. Okay, so what is fiscal policy? Fiscal policy is a manipulation of the government's budget to stabilize the economy. Okay, that's the key, all right? It's a manipulation of the government's budget to stabilize the economy. We know our economy goes through this kind of up and down pattern, okay, this business cycle as far as its growth is concerned. It booms, it busts. It booms, it busts. Well, what we can do is we can use fiscal policy so when we're booming to moderate the boom, or when we're busting to also moderate the bust, okay? That's what we mean by stabilizing, okay? So it's really doing things that are called counter-cyclical. When we're going down, let's try to make us go up. When we're going up, let's try to make us go down. So to try to do counter-cyclical policies, that's what stabilization is. What are the levers of fiscal policy? Well, the government's budget, like all budgets, has inflows and outflows. Inflows being taxes, outflows being transfer payments and government purchases, okay? So that's it. Our levers of fiscal policy is a manipulation of the inflows and the outflows. And what are those inflows? Taxes. What are the outflows? Transfer payments and government purchases. So that's it. That's all fiscal policy is manipulating these three levers to stabilize the economy. If the economy is going into a recession, what would we do with these three levers? We would decrease, okay, the inflows. That's what we would do to help expand the economy or stimulate the economy, or we'll increase the outflows, okay? The big thing is these taxes, we're going to take less taxes from people so their disposable income goes up, all right? Or we'll just simply increase their transfer payments, actually which also increases disposable income, or we will directly put money into the product market and increase spending, okay? So one more time, we're in a recession. What will they do to taxes? Reduce them. What will they do to the outflows? Increase them. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, okay? Let's imagine we do go into a recession, and the House, the Senate, and the President decide, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to use this lever, government purchases, and let's go ahead and increase our government purchases. Now, something very interesting is going to take place. But there was something I didn't note originally in this video that I need to note now. Originally, I had my taxes purposely drawn as big as my transfer payments of my government purchases. My inflows equaling my outflows. I had what is called a balanced budget. But when I increase government purchases to stimulate the economy, and if I don't change my taxes, which is often what I will not do, a lot of times I won't change my taxes. In fact, if we're in a recession, a lot of times I might even reduce taxes. What I'm talking about right now, though, is let's just imagine all that the government's going to do is increase their government purchases. We're going to get a deficit, okay? We're going to get a deficit. So a hole in our budget. So remember, our inflows need to fund our outflows. So since our inflows of taxes is less than our new outflows, because we increased government purchases by that amount, we expanded government purchases, we have a deficit, a hole in our budget. So we need to fund that deficit. Where do you go to fund a deficit? You go to the financial market, okay? If you need if you need funds, you go to the financial market, the loanable funds market. And what is the government going to do? They're going to borrow money, okay? So they're going to borrow money to fund that deficit. Okay, so we got the money flowing right there. That is an increase in demand for loanable funds. That's what they're going to do. Demand loanable funds to finance their deficit. Okay, that hole in their budget, that amount by which their inflows was less than their outflows. Well, what's going to happen when they fund that deficit? The interest rate in the financial market, as the government is demanding loanable funds, is going to go up. All right? So they're going to demand these loanable funds. The interest rate is going to go up, and that has some negative impacts, okay? Hey, that's the cost of spending. And when we're in a recession, we want people to spend more, and they are increasing the cost of spending money. What we're going to see is things like investment, especially investment, because it's very interest rate sensitive, it could begin to go down, or probably will begin to go down. It's called the crowding out effect. So we can get the crowding out effect. So that is one of the major negatives of doing expansionary fiscal policy. Is it's going to cause the interest rate to go up. Why? Because we're going to run a deficit. We're going to have to finance that deficit, causing the interest rate to go up. And when that interest rate goes up, business investment is going to decrease, because that's the cost of, or one of the costs of business investment right there, okay? The other big negative of fiscal policy is the time lags. You see, I've got this arrow this little arrow up here. I've got a dot right here. This is our starting point. I want you to just kind of imagine that's the beginning of us heading into our recession, into our bust times, the contraction of the economy. That's when we first start heading down. Well, in normal times, what we're going to have here is what is called the recognition lag, okay? The recognition lag. You see, it's hard to know if you're in a recession until you get data, and it takes time to get the data to come in to see that you're in a recession. This usually takes somewhere around 3 to 6 months to even know that you are heading into a recession. Now, after we find out that we're in a recession 3 to 6 months later, we're going to have what is called the administrative lag, okay? What is the administrative lag? Well, we've got to pass it in the United States through our House, through our Senate, and have the President sign it. It has to be the exact same bill, okay? That takes some time. So we've got this administrative lag. And then finally, there's also this operational lag. So we pass the bill right here at that dash. It might take all the way to here to really impact the economy because of this operational lag, all right? So let's say we cut taxes, let's say payroll taxes, by $200 billion. Well, the thing is, guys, to get that full impact, that $200 billion reduction in taxes, we're going to need a whole year, because when we say we cut payroll taxes by $200 billion, they're talking annually. So that's a lot of paychecks. That's going to take time before disposable income goes up by that $200 billion. So there's going to be this operational lag. On top of that, here's what we did in this problem. We increased government purchases. If we say, hey, we're going to build a new road or a new bridge, you can't build a road or a bridge in a day. The funding, that actual money entering into the economy, is going to take time. Sometimes this operational lag can be a year or two, and even longer sometimes. So why is this a negative? Hey, when you start going here, you want to do something right here. You don't want to have this time period in which you're going down. And here's the final thing that could be the real bad thing. You could start going down, and then the economy could start self-correcting and coming up, and then you get the impact of your expansionary policy, even worse, okay? So, two negatives of fiscal policy: time lapse and the deficit that causes the interest rate to go up, causing businesses to get crowded out of the financial market. Hope that made sense to you. We'll see you in the next video.